What happens when a man dedicates his entire life to saving troubled teenagers, only to discover the very institution he's poured his heart and soul into is being shut down? What if his own demons began to resurface at the same time, pushing him closer to the very struggles he's trying to save others from? And can hope survive when the system itself is designed to fail? Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master, and today we're diving into Steve, a powerful drama directed by Tim Milance and starring Cillian Murphy in one of his most vulnerable roles yet. This isn't just a story about a reform school headmaster. It's about addiction, resilience, second chances, and the blurred lines between being a savior and needing saving yourself. In this video, we're breaking down the story of Steve, unpacking the ending, and talking about what it really means for both the characters and us as viewers. Steve's chaotic world. From the moment the documentary crew arrives at Stanton Woods, it's clear that this school is unlike any other. It's messy, loud, chaotic, yet strangely full of hope. Stanton Woods isn't just a reform school, it's a lifeline for troubled teens who've been written off by society. And at the heart of it all is Steve, played brilliantly by Cillian Murphy. Steve is a man who knows his students better than anyone else ever could. While the outside world labels them as lost causes, Steve sees potential, sparks of talent, and human beings worth fighting for. His vision is simple, but powerful. Give these kids another chance, because without it, they'll end up in prison or worse. But holding that vision together is no easy job. He's constantly juggling logistics, firefighting crises, checking in on the kids, managing his staff, including Amanda, his loyal deputy, Shola, the eager young teacher, Andy and Owen, and now the added disruption of a camera crew poking around. He's stretched to his limit, but he keeps going because he believes Stanton Woods is worth every ounce of effort. And then comes the news that shatters his world. The bombshell. The school is sold. Steve expects bad news about budget cuts, maybe being told to turn off heaters during the winter. But instead, the hammer falls hard. Julian and Charlotte, the school's trustees, reveal that Stanton Woods has already been sold. They've got 6 months to vacate, and the kids will be left with nowhere to go. Steve pleads with them. He explains how fragile these students are, how complicated their lives are, and how desperately they need this place. But the decision is final. No reconsideration, no appeals. The school is gone. The weight of failure crushes him. He's shown these kids hope, but now he can't guarantee them safety or structure. He knows one day they'll ask, "What now?" And he won't have an answer. That fear, that guilt begins to eat him alive. And so Steve starts slipping. Pills, alcohol, whatever it takes to numb the pain. Steve's addiction and his past. As the day spirals out of control, Amanda notices that Steve isn't himself. He's jittery, on edge, clearly not just stressed, but chemically unbalanced. Slowly, we learn the truth. Steve was in a terrible accident years ago. A little girl died, and although he wasn't directly responsible, the trauma scarred him deeply. He was prescribed oxycodone for his injuries, and somewhere along the way, dependence turned into addiction. On the outside, he's the composed, selfless headmaster, but underneath, he's broken, haunted by guilt, numbed by pills, and unsure if his entire mission is saving kids or redeeming himself. When Shy, one of the students, casually suggests that maybe Steve is just another addict trying to project his own failures onto them, the comment cuts deep. For the first time, Steve wonders, is his purpose rooted in true selflessness or just guilt? Is he really a savior or just another man running from his own pain? Shy's struggles. Among the many troubled teens, Shy's journey stands out as the emotional core of the film. Shy has battled addiction since a young age, lashing out violently against his stepfather and spiraling downwards. At Stanton Woods, he's been trying to improve, listening to Jenna, the therapist, finding small comforts in music and collecting stones, and slowly building routines. But Shy is fragile. Early in the film, we see him sneaking a joint, And Steve doesn't punish him. Instead, Steve gently talks to him, showing that he understands the slow, uneven path of recovery. Then Shy gets a phone call that devastates him. His mother has decided she's done with him. After his outbursts, after his temper, she and her husband cut all ties. Shy can't believe it at first. Parents don't abandon their children, right? But this time, she means it.
Shy is gutted. For him, family was the only anchor. Without it, he feels completely adrift. He reminisces about his Nana's house, his one true safe haven, a place where he was loved without judgment. He longs for that innocence, that unconditional acceptance. But now it's gone, and all he feels is emptiness. Shy's attempt and the turning point. The breaking point comes when Shy decides to end it all. He fills a bag with stones and heads toward the nearby lake, planning to drown himself. It's the most gut-wrenching moment in the film, because it feels inevitable. Like society has failed him, his family has failed him, and even Steve is slipping away. But then, something changes. Perhaps it's Steve's words echoing in his mind. Perhaps it's the memory that someone actually believed in him. Someone saw his worth when no one else did. Instead of walking into the water, Shy uses the stones to smash the school's glass windows. It's reckless, yes, but it's also symbolic. It's his way of screaming, "I'm still here. I still want to be seen." When Steve finds Shy alive, the relief is overwhelming. Despite being drunk, beaten down, and broken himself, Steve's influence has saved a life. And that becomes the film's bittersweet truth. Even at his lowest, Steve mattered. His compassion gave Shy a reason to choose life. The final scene. The ending of Steve leaves us with haunting ambiguity. After surviving a day of pure chaos, Steve goes home to his family. His daughters leave for school, his wife urges him to rest, but Steve can't rest. He grabs a bottle of alcohol and climbs into the attic. And that's where the film ends. What does it mean? There are multiple interpretations. Maybe Steve went up there to hide the bottle, a small act of trying to resist temptation. Maybe he went up there to pack, preparing to disappear, just as he once told the documentary crew he might. Or maybe, tragically, he climbed up there to end his life, feeling that he had nothing left now that Stanton Woods was being taken from him. The film refuses to give us a clear answer. Instead, it leaves us with a painful truth. Even saviors need saving. Steve spent his life trying to keep others from drowning, but when it came to himself, he didn't know how to swim. The symbol of Durdle Door. One recurring image throughout the film is Durdle Door, a natural limestone arch in England. Shy fixates on it, staring at its picture in class, dreaming of visiting one day. For him, Durdle Door represents hope, escape, and the beauty of something permanent in a life full of chaos. The stones he collects, the glass he shatters, even his bag of rocks at the lake, all tie back to this imagery. The stones aren't just objects, they're symbols of weight, permanence, and transformation. Where one stone could drag him down into death, another could be used to break free and reach out for life. For Shy, Durdle Door becomes a reason to keep going, a reminder that beyond pain and abandonment, there is still beauty worth living for. Our nerdy thoughts. Steve isn't just a film, it's an experience. It forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about addiction, mental health, and how society treats troubled youth. What struck us most is the way the film blurs the line between savior and survivor. Steve isn't some perfect hero. He's a deeply flawed man, broken by trauma and addiction, who still chooses to fight for others even when he can't fight for himself. And that's what makes his character so powerful. Because in real life, people who save others are rarely flawless. They're often struggling too. Stanton Woods symbolizes what we desperately need more of, places where broken people can still find hope. The tragedy, of course, is that such places are always the first to lose funding, the first to be abandoned. Shy's arc, meanwhile, is devastating and uplifting. His survival at the end, his decision to smash windows instead of drown himself, shows that even in the darkest moments, the smallest spark of hope can make all the difference. And that spark came from Steve. The ending leaves us with questions, but maybe that's the point. Did Steve give up, or did he keep fighting? Did he run away, relapse, or start over? We'll never know. And in that uncertainty, the film forces us to reflect on our own choices, our own battles. and what it means to hold on when everything feels lost. So what did you think of Steve? Do you believe Steve climbed into the attic to end it all? Or do you think he was just trying to resist temptation and stash the bottle away? And what about Shy? Did his symbolic act of smashing the windows hit you as hard as it hit us? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your interpretations. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss out on more deep dives into movies that really make us think. Until next time, this is Spoiler Master signing off from your nerdy show. Stay nerdy, stay curious, and remember, even the smallest spark of hope can light up the darkest places.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.